Suicide is the most common cause of death for men aged 20 to 49 years in England and Wales. That one's interesting because it's an area that I've done some research into and thought about for a few reasons. But I personally didn't know it was actually the most common in that age bracket. I knew it was suicide was much more common amongst men, but I didn't know about that. But unfortunately, that doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't.
It's upsetting that nobody should ever feel like they should have to kind of commit suicide for people to show how much they care about one another. I'm shocked at that.
I am. I don't know.
I think I'm shocked because you don't hear about it you don't hear about that sort of thing on the news. It's all about hit and runs, or it's all about like terrorist attacks or anything like that. There's nothing out there that tells you about suicide or anything like that. So there's no nothing that draws you to it.
Yeah. But as well, it's another one of them things people don't talk about.
Yeah.
Because again, like anxiety and depression, people don't talk about it. Like people don't talk about suicide, you wouldn't know if someone's suffering and thinking about doing it.
Yeah.
I'd heard about suicide being more common in men, but that is a lot more than like the number that was floating about in my head. And especially men under 35, there's a lot of life left after that. Like that's crazy. That's young to be dying, especially of suicide.
That is shocking. Most common, like, especially the age and like
it's 49.
And like males as well. I suppose like
I never really like think of males to like. You just naturally you see them as like more independent, stronger.
Yeah.
Don't know, like I guess. So you wouldn't really expect it in men. You don't expect it more in women. So.
Is that part of the issue?
That's probably what it is, yeah, because
you're
they're
blind to it,
and they don't want to talk to people because they feel that's a problem in itself, isn't it? I'm a man. I don't want to talk about my
It's a stigma that gets attached to them as well. Well, the thing that gets attached to them.
Yeah, like you see the advert about like men can cry, men shouldn't cry and stuff like that. Like it's so important, like because it's clearly such a big issue and it's like. It's upsetting, isn't it, that like that many people, the fact that it's the most common cause of death, just because they don't want to talk to anyone.
It's really quite shocking to see, and obviously that is main aim towards university students as well. I think that's quite sad, and it's quite a hard-hitting figure.
I just think it's ridiculous. Like it's this high. It just proves that there's stigma with men not talking about how they actually feel.
Doesn't surprise me at all. It really doesn't surprise me. Because again, we talked about men being told to man up, and so when they have problems or feelings that society doesn't deem appropriate, they don't talk about these feelings. They push them, try and push them down, and eventually they will bubble to the surface. And if people can't take it, or their brain can't handle it, and they don't want to talk to anybody, eventually, like I talked about earlier, they think the best way out is that nobody wants them there, nobody cares, and the best way out for everybody is just to kill themselves.
I heard last week that a boy that my sister went to school with, he'd just started university, he's a bit younger than 20 though. He was really clever at school, he was doing like astrophysics at uni, and that he'd hung himself in his uni flat, and for my sister to be like in a form with him and like know him, it was quite hard hitting for her. He was at Manchester, so he was away from his family as well, and also like they didn't find him for like 3 days. So
it can be such a stoppable thing, and that it's the biggest killer for men under 35. For something that can be stopped, it's just too high, and there needs to be something done about it.
It's
with it being a taboo subject anyway, it's even more difficult to talk about when it's men, because they're expected to be like stereotypically tough and like macho and man up. Like, they use that phrase too much, and we need to talk about mental illness with men.
Well, yeah, I think what that statistic is telling us sort of thing is that women are more likely to go and ask for help and get the help what they want, because obviously the men are more common to get depression and anxiety, it seems that way, and more likely to be fatal results.
I think it might be just because, like, as men or as boys and males in society, like, you're not really allowed to speak out about just like feeling sad, or like you kind of feel like a bit of a wimp if you go out and tell people, oh, I've been feeling sad for no particular reason. Like, it feels like you need a reason to speak out, like something needs to happen to you for you to feel sad. You can't just like be depressed or feel sad or like express that kind of emotion to a lot of people really who aren't really super close to you.
Yeah, I don't think you usually see yourself as a threat until obviously you get yourself in situations where that crosses your mind. I think that's really important to realise that there's support and help out there for people who are feeling like that, or even to stop the reasons and the causes in the first place. I think that's really important.
Disturbing statistic, a really disturbing one. And frankly, I'm not sure what, if anything, can be done to address it properly, aside from teaching people from a ground level, you know, teaching kids and addressing how they're brought up about what it is to be okay, what it is to not be okay, what it is to just fundamentally want to get out of a situation that you're in that much.